Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to NuPath Live. Today is Thursday, July 27th. My name is Dan Harrison. I'm your host. I think I say every time we have our NuPath Live that when we have them so frequently, I feel like they get packed and I feel rushed. And that is the case again today because we've got two guests that have some important things to share with us. But before we do that, let me just say that I'm having a great summer. I've been went away for about a week. I hope our staff, I hope people out there, I hope our families are finding opportunities to unplug a little bit and get some rest and take advantage of, for our staff, of their vacation time. I know we're short staff. We're still in the middle of a staffing crisis, so it may be hard for people, but it is important. That's all I'll say on that. Let's move on. So, what are we going to do today? Well, I told you we were going to have some familiar and knowledgeable people on to talk to us about some new initiatives, some things that are going on with the NuPath that I thought you'd like to know about. And the first guest that we're going to talk to is Brett Riley. I'm going to bring him on right now. I want to have him explain to us about this project. There he is. Hey, Brett.
Hi, Dan.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Are you having a no-fear summer?
I am having a no-fear summer. Can't be afraid of a little warm weather.
Could you do something sort of overtly dangerous while we're on this call, just so you can prove to me? No, I'm teasing. Don't do anything dangerous. So I'm kind of excited about this new video series. I'm calling it the Culture Series. Maybe there's a better name for it, but this is kind of this. I don't want to call it low production value because it's not really low production value, but they're more kind of gritty, like, sort of, in the moment, and talking just to regular staff. We had an event. It was the No Fear Kickoff event a couple of weeks ago, and we had somebody there with a camera and just talked to some of the staff that attended, put them together to some really neat videos. What do you want to say about that? And because we can watch it and then talk a little bit about it afterwards. But I think people will enjoy it.
Yeah, we I think we didn't initially intend on getting this content, and when we developed sort of our staff appreciation events and started to sort of see who was attending and what these events started to look like, we thought it would be a great opportunity to grab some content and talk to our staff and just see how they were see how they're feeling, take their temperature. And what came out of it was just amazing content. We realized what incredible longevity we had and versatility, and as we started to hear different employees speak about their experience with NuPath, we heard our core values come out. So yeah, we put together a series called I think that was pretty accurate, the Culture Series. Are we gonna watch the careers video? That's probably one of the better ones. And on the heels of having Caitlin on last week to speak about developing new pipelines and channels for staffing, I think that this speaks volumes to prospects that may want to come and work for us. So,
and do we love Caitlin or what?
We love Caitlin. She's great.
It's just been great having her on board. And somebody's good when everybody they sort of have interactions with through the first few weeks are positive, and that you hear positive feedback. That's not always the case, unfortunately, but Kayla knows what she's doing. Okay, we talked enough about her last time. Let's watch the culture video. If Greg can put that on for us, and then let's come back and talk a little bit about it. So I love it. I think it's great.
My name is Juan Nunez. I've been here since 2018.
Hi, my name is Karen Franklin. I have been with NuPath 7 years this July.
My name is Moses Mujewa. I started working with NuPath, I think that is 2016.
My name is Amy Mondesier, and I've been with NuPath for 9 years.
My name is Samuel Kawunga, and I've worked for NuPath for 10 years now.
My name is Michael McIver. So I've been here on and off for looking at around 20 years.
My name is Michelle Denny. I've been here almost 21 years.
Hi, I'm Leslie Linscott.
And how long have you been working?
23 years.
My name is Matthew Johnson, and I've been at NuPath just about 25 years now.
Sharon Pitts, and I've been here for 25 years.
My name is Dan Lannon, and I've been at NuPath for 25 years.
I never left here because I could never say goodbye to anybody. because I always want to be in their life and I want them to be in mine. It's a job that I can count on, and I have a lot of friends that I have met over the years.
So I mean, I've done a little bit of everything since I've been here. I mean, there's always something to do. It's not just one thing all the time. That's what keeps me going.
It is really great to work at an agency that supports their employees, fosters an environment that is cooperative, and people can really work together and also get to know each other.
Yeah, that's one thing actually I've seen in NuPath. There is always the opportunity to grow. It's always upon you. If you want to grow, they are ready to train you and go as far as you want.
Watching coworkers go on, so they might have come in and started as a life coach and then gone to a next level and come up into management or a team leader. So watching my coworkers that I've been able to mentor grow has been really exciting.
There's opportunities. I've seen people joining here and they would move from one department to the other. If you are looking for building a career, I would encourage you to join NuPath.
And if you like going home with the feeling of success, with the feeling that you've really helped somebody do something great for someone else, and that whatever you did is deeply appreciated for everyone you work with, this is the place.
You know, Brett, you have the same experience as I've had in multiple times, you know, over the course of a typical year, where people are asked to say how long they've worked for the organization, how long they've been with NuPath. We're very proud of the longevity that we enjoy, which I think is in much higher levels than other organizations. But doesn't it just strike you when you hear the length of time that people have been serving this organization and working with our populations and with our community, this family? We heard that several times. I mean, I don't think I'd ask for anything better. I mean,
you know, we shouldn't be surprised by it, but I am every time I hear it. It's shocking. I mean, you add the years up collectively, and it's decades and decades of experiences. And you know, it says something that people that have been here for 10, 15, 20, close to 30 years says a tremendous amount about the organization. So I don't think we can hear it enough, really, but it is surprising every time I hear it.
Right. Yeah, and when I think about the length of time, 23 years, 21 years, you know, that's 2 decades. I've been working for NuPath for 21 years or something. And you know, our families, you know, maybe they just, I'm not saying they take it for granted, but it's just nice to, I think it's important that we, you know, call that out, point that out on behalf of those staff that have remained with us for so long, and our families and our clients that really benefit from that kind of longevity. I mean, I think it's so great. Anything else, Brad, you want to talk to us? Sorry, I didn't look like you were getting ready to say something.
No, you know, on the heels of that, and I don't want this to sound too shocking or surprising to you, but on the heels of that, you know, another anniversary that we recently celebrated was the longevity of you being at the helm and CEO for 10 years. And that's a significant timestamp in your time with NuPath. And we kind of surprised you a couple of weeks ago at our board meeting with a little video that we did in the process of getting this culture content. We thought we would ask a couple more questions about you and, you know, see what we got. And so if you don't mind, I think maybe we would show that.
I don't know if we have time, Greg.
Brett and Dan, I'm sorry, I have it all queued up, so
I don't know if people would want to see anything to do with that. No, I'll just say this. 10 years I've been in this position, and I continue to be blown away by the quality of people that I work beside every single day. The people, the leaders of this organization, the staff on every level that you know, give it their all to make NuPath what it is. I feel like, you know, I'm just another, you know, bozo on the bus, but it was a nice video you showed at the board meeting. And I guess I'd watch it again if you twisted my arm. So it is really beautiful. And I was surprised, and I don't like being surprised, but in this case, it was all right. Let's watch it then, and I don't know, feel embarrassed for me.
There's a lot about Dan.
I remember when he started, and I could tell how happy he was, and we were happy for him, and we knew things were going to be great.
Dan is a wonderful CEO because he's a wonderful person. There's nobody I've worked with in business in any capacity that has more compassion for the individuals that he works for, the individuals that NuPath serves, and the overall community in which we function than Dan.
I think as with Dan as our CEO, there's the sky's the limit with our organization, honestly. If you wanted to have somebody that's gonna bring you, Dan's the guy.
I think he's doing an awesome job. He's very nice. He's a very caring guy, and he'll do anything for anyone.
I actually met Dan Harrison at a Uber ride. We had a conversation on the way to the airport, and he invited me to apply to work here. So right after Thanksgiving, I gave him a call and filled out the application and started working here. So that's like something that will never go away in my mind.
When we had to shut down because of COVID, Dan was just awesome. And I look forward to the day when he would give us an update as to what's happening with the state, what's happening in NuPath. So he's been wonderful to work with.
I like how accessible Dan is, but if you're talking about a memory, it's got to be the corn. Dan delivers corn during the summer. It's the best corn I've ever had. I don't know where he gets it, but that's got to be the memory.
He's not afraid to take chances and put himself out there, and certainly some of his videos over the years are certainly what stand out now.
Oh, Dan was the chef. And also, I think it was the crazy science guy or something like that.
He does a lot that inspires me, and I always say he's very provocative, he's very forward thinking, and that's why I work here. So we're not just the typical company. He's not just the typical CEO, and I would have it no other way.
I have to say, Dan is, wow. A lot of background with Dan. He's an incredibly supportive CEO. So he takes pride and joy into getting to know his staff. I always consider NuPath a new beginning for me. And Dan is one of those reasons, just for embracing me from where I was to coming to where I am now in NuPath. He's a really special guy.
You know, Brett, seeing that again, I feel humbled, of course, because I work with such amazing people, and they just said such kind things. But I also appreciate that they put in that little snapshot of my mother, a little bit of a video that I made with her one of the last Christmases in Indiana, and it just shows how much we have done together in a span of 10 years or 20 years, 30. You know, I mean, it's hard to even conceive what, you know, how life would be different without NuPath. I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying, but I mean,
well, you know, if you listen to the words spoken in that video and you map it against the culture video that we watched earlier, it's very similar. I mean, it's no question that the reason why we have the culture that we have today is from what you've infused in this organization, and your mom was part of that. You know, our families are part of it. We go home and we talk about NuPath, and we live and breathe it, and that's just reflective in the rest of the organization as well. So,
you know, our staff are so amazing. They're not to get too far off the track here, but the amount of effort that people are already putting into creating these wonderful events for our clients and for other staff, lobster dinners and spaghetti nights and raffles, and all leading to our Walktoberfest in October. God knows what our total is going to be. I don't know if we set our goal yet. It just represents stuff that go far beyond just having a job. It's people that legitimately care about what we're doing and the outputs that we're able to accomplish on behalf of a community of people that really depend upon us. And I just could not be more proud of the work we've done. And yeah, there, as CEO, I'm saying it. I'm proud and I love everybody. Okay. I think you're frozen, Brett. Did you freeze? So I guess this is where we can say goodbye to Brett. And maybe I should say something funny because he can't respond. No, I won't do that to him. We're having little technical issues, ladies and gentlemen. But hopefully I am still broadcasting, and we will say goodbye to Brett Riley. Thank you, Brett, for joining us today and for setting up those videos and for everything you do to get our message and to help us tell our story to people who want to hear it. All right, so next up is another familiar face. I'd like to say exciting. No, he's perfectly exciting. And that person is Dan Lannon, who's going to come on and talk to us about a few things. Mr. Lannon, how are you?
I'm good, Mr. Harrison. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. You know, I've got this list, a short list of things here that I thought people might be interested in. You know, even though we don't have NuPath Live with the frequency we once did, and we're not, you know, able to, we don't really have the forum or the venue really to talk a lot about things at a generic level. There's a lot of stuff going on out in programs. We recently just bought a new home for a new residential development. We are talking about beginning some major renovations and upgrades to our building here. You've got staffing promoted to new positions, you know, all kinds of things going on, and still trying to manage with a workforce that's not at maximum capacity. Are there any of those things you want to talk briefly about? Maybe people that might be interested in the new development or any of that?
I think the new development is important to talk about. I know people have all you know, had their different opinions or stories on how this came about. This actually, we were approached back in 19 for the next year to start a development for Lowell area office, and then the pandemic hit. So the individuals that were going to be referred back then stayed in their school systems and whatever programs they were at until, you know, really the pandemic passed us by. Well, no one thought certainly it would be 2 years before that discussion even opened back up about opening residential development. And so we had committed to it with the Lowell area office, and we felt like it was you know, our responsibility as partners with the state to follow through with our commitment to do the development, even though times had certainly changed. And so then we embarked on searching for a new residence. Ted really led the way, and as everybody knows, the real estate market during that time, about a year ago, was crazy. You know, prices were crazy. Houses were going for over asking prices. People were waiving home inspections and everything. And so that was just something we didn't feel comfortable with. So
this is with the interest rates climbing. This is with, you know, the thought that maybe the housing market had softened a bit. And we had a heck of a time getting a house and going so much above asking. And I don't think a lot of people know this, but the way the financing for this is set up, we are as though we are cash buyers to any seller. And so that we felt like was going to give us a leg up for other home seekers. But it was, I don't know, how many houses did we look at before we finally got this one in Billerica?
I would say in the range of 30 to 40 houses, you know, with say 10 coming to the point of what would normally have been us settling on one of those other 10 houses. But, you know, by the time we even got an offer in, they had already accepted an offer, or there were one house particularly was sold for $120,000 more than what the asking price was. And so it was certainly something that, you know, we didn't feel extending ourselves that much was the best fiscal decision. And, you know, the state, their guidelines of occupancy only pays you so much for a residence. They really don't factor in, you know, the additional costs you had to take on by buying a house that was more expensive. And so, but one thing the state did last year, and they extended into this year, was that they, for all priority one placements, which this house would be, every bed, every individual that is placed during the year, we will receive additional funds for to help us supplement the cost of the housing and staffing crisis and everything. And so really it was just that was an added incentive, but still we felt committed because of the relationship we have with the state that we were going to go forward with this. And then we thank God found one recently and we purchased it. Now the hard work starts.
It makes me think how different things are from how they used to be. And I mean, in the first half of this, we talked to Brett. We watched one of the culture videos, the careers ones they call it. But hearing the longevity of people, Leslie Linscott, Mike MacGyver, these guys, Sharon Pitts, people that have all been there over 20 years, and in those days, it was all about growth, and we were very excited every time we opened a new home. And one year we opened, I think, 3 homes in 1 year, and we grew from when I first started the organization. We were just about a $3.5 million organization, and we grew to 17 million. By the time I became CEO, and then since then we've grown another up to we're at about 25 million. But that I haven't been really excited about growing beyond that point. My feeling being that we're like the Goldilocks size. We're perfect size to satisfy. We're big enough that we've got resources and things that we need to be efficient and do the job as well, providing a good product for people, our clients and their families, but small enough that we can try to refine and perfect it. I never want to be so big that, we lose a handle on having influence out there. But you're right. This is important that we sent the message that we can still, I think, do it, right?
Yeah. And that's the challenge, right? Because you spoke about the staffing crisis earlier, and all the other things that are still, going on here that we're trying to do. And now here we are taking on, additional responsibilities, which will be thrusted upon us, to find additional staff and leadership for this new development. And so, but I do think that it was in the best interest of NuPath and the opportunity to fulfill what we set out to accomplish with the state a couple of years ago. So I felt like it was the best thing to go forward with.
Dan, we could talk about a bunch of other things on my list. I don't have that much time with you. I just thought of another thing that I thought might be more interesting. You and I often joke. We've worked together so long, and we've been through just about anything and everything that you can imagine. And the pandemic was really the doozy. We used to say, I used to like to say, which is the worst thing that you've been through in your career here at NuPath? And I think we both know where we stand. What do you think the best thing, like the time at moment in time at NuPath? Because I mean, yeah, I've been CEO now for 10 years, and I joked that I was afraid I was going to make it 1 year, but luckily for me, I've got a good team. I'd like to hear about, because this is about us doing this together. I feel like you and I have been linked in this as I have it with Ted, Bill, and a lot of others. But what do you think is your proudest moment?
I guess it's a cumulative thing, and then I would throw a couple of shout outs. But I think overall, just the growth of myself and the people I work with over the years, and advanced positions that people have been able to move up within this agency and take on, that helped us with that growth that you spoke about. You mentioned, Mike MacGyver, Leslie Linscott, or, Sharon Pitts, Ted Hahn, Matt. Not one of us is in the same position as when we started. Everyone has grown. Everyone has taken on different responsibilities over those years. And James Sannon would be another one. I could go on and on, Doreen Michelle. And so I just think that I think that's probably the thing I enjoy seeing the most, because I know it comes with a lot of work. I know it comes with the risk. I know it comes with people stepping out of their comfort zone, and really I think that seeing those opportunities grow and seeing the impacts that they can have on individuals' lives, at a greater bandwidth is tremendous. And then you talk about, we just had the job camp graduation, 10 years that program running. That's amazing. Working with Bill 10 years ago to where it is now, and the proven track record of so many people going through that, just to see the different opportunities that people have taken on over the years, the catering graduation class that just happened.
Yeah, there's just dozens of examples.
Yeah, there's just so many things that it's just great to see.
You know what I like about us? I like, as far as a leadership team, if I would agree, I feel that we have earned the trust of many of our staff because we're honest, we tell the truth. There have been some very difficult decisions we've had to make together over the past 10 or 20 years. We don't expect to always be popular or for everybody to understand why we have to do one thing over another, but I feel like we've through good times and bad, we've been pretty upfront with people and kind of laid it out there. And I hope that, you know, just about every staff would say that they do feel some trust in our leadership.
Yeah, I guess if I could just add one thing to that, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
Just smirking a little bit, so I don't know what that means. But
no, I guess I would add one thing. Certainly 10 years ago, when you became CEO, and even, you know, prior to that, when you were working, just when we were working, you know, in our positions that we had before that, your level of transparency was something I was not used to. When I, you know, as I grew working with you, it was certainly a different culture than what existed beforehand, and so, you know, it was shocking to me at the beginning, but you're walking me through it and explaining it. I certainly came around to embrace it and loved it, and I think that has what, you know, is what made us successful and allowed us to have staff, you know, remain with us and grow within the agency.
Shocking is funny. I think that's not too strong a word, because you and I have definitely kind of have been at several impasses over the years where you felt like, no, this is not something you want to tell people. Yeah. I always opt for telling, you know, being honest and sharing the story, because if there's details that are weird or people don't know, it's human nature to fill in the gaps however best they can, you know, and I hate to have that be the case. Okay, I'm sure I'm out of time. I haven't heard from Greg yet, and I kind of lost track. But there's one last thing I want to talk to you about. Brian Kalman mentioned it in one of his video remarks, and that is, you'll be amazed that and I'm trying to work in some corn puns. It's corn time again. I thought maybe people would forget that I did it last summer, but apparently that butter sugar corn from Galunkas in Western Mass is what people remember. So I'm going to be trying to do that this weekend, and I shouldn't say this because then people will be disappointed if I can't. But now this will force me to have to do it and drop it off as I did the last year. So amazed. Are you concerned that I won't be?
I am not. I don't have any good puns for that, as it's caught me off guard, but I will say that you should send a few extra towards Kevin and Marty, because I don't know if you've tasted the corn salsa that they had this Monday during the cookout here at New Boston Street for staff, but it was excellent. So, you know, maybe they'll recreate that salad. And
all right. Well, I'm all ears, so, you know, these are late. All right. I'm pretty sure that's probably it for time. Is there anything last minute thing you wanna mention before we let you go? And
no, just you know, thank you to everyone and for everything everyone's doing. I know, like you said, things aren't always perfect, but we're certainly all trying. And you know, if you have someone you want to refer or someone who's looking for an opportunity for a position, you know, certainly send them over. Referral bonus is still strong, and you know, we're definitely looking to fill a lot of positions. So,
and Dan, I don't know if I, you know, said this recently and probably not on live, but you're doing a good job. Pretty good job.
Thank you, Greg. Save the tape on that. Don't edit that out.
All right, Matt. It's good to talk to you. Thanks for being on NuPath Live today, and I will talk to you very soon, I'm sure.
All right. Thank you very much.
Take care. I love that guy. He's awesome. Yeah, he's a little weird sometimes, but I love him. All right, that's it, everybody. I'm out of time. I will be back. We'll be back in a few weeks. Stay tuned for that, and enjoy your summer. Be safe, and no fear. Do wonderful things out there, and we got this. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.